Day 2 of MSI with coverage brought to you by Alienware. I'm joined by Zven after an unfortunate loss to Detonation FocusMe. So Zven, what went wrong in the game?
I'd say almost everything went wrong in the game. There's not really anything that went right for us. I think we have got a comp where if we're behind, we don't have any combat mechanics. We have one type of engage, which is Leona ult, which is cleansable by Kaisa. It's Alistar ultable, and you have two tanks with Mercs, one tank with Mercs and no has jump. So we don't really have any way to come back in the game once we're fall behind. I think Kaisa takes over side lane. No one can really match her. Jace can sort of fight her, but not really. So feels like we messed up the early game. Blabber got really far behind once again. I think we should have pathed differently and just gotten, a block grab and then they get top grab and then we just trade that kind of game. Even though it sucks for our top laner, but falling behind early game with jungler means that we can't really do anything in the game. We don't have bot wins lane, but not like it wins lane to the point where it really matters. So we just don't have any combat mechanics once we're behind in the early game, and that's maybe a drafting issue. But I think our play in the early game, which is normally pretty solid, has just been way too bad right now.
Well,
I'm on jungler mostly.
That's what I was going to ask is, do you think like, oh, this was just an unfortunate thing that spiraled out of one minor mistake, or do you think it is a situation where like Cloud9 as a team right now really needs to catch up to the rest of the teams that are at MSI? Because I don't know if you feel like this is more of like just a complete performance issue.
I think that's a slight over-exaggeration, but I think that it's sort of true, but still exaggeration. I think that it's not that complicated. It's more like that in this game, Blabber thought that Fudge had more push in the top lane than he did. He thought that, well, Uda beats in Italy. We know that. Blabber knows that. We called that in the game. And we thought that Jace could push Nar and help with the crab, but it wasn't that big of a push in the top lane. So they were able to contest the crab. Blabber thought it was going to be a 2v1. Him and Jace versus Udyr. It wasn't. And then Blabber made a mistake and died for it. I didn't see what happened in the game. I was playing bot, obviously, right? But I heard him say he flashed for it and didn't even get it. So obviously that's a disaster if Udyr gets that crab and bot crab is theirs because we leashed and they leashed, and then there's no reason for us to push. So they got that crab as well. And I think that if the game is just normal, Blabber paths top side to bot side, gets bot crab, and then we reset, like a normal standard jungle clear, the game is more playable. I think Fudge and Blabber had a misunderstanding about how top lane would go, and yeah, we didn't get the top grab, and then Blabber made a mistake, and the game is hard because we don't have any, combat mechanics in the game. We don't have any engage that sticks. Even old Bars old is unreliable engage against cleanse, Alistar old, etc. So yeah, just bad early play, and it's not hard to fix. So it's like depressing to lose to teams we should beat, but it's like nothing to get sad over.
Yeah. Well, on that note, and I want to say for the people that are watching this is moments after the game completed. But what is the mentality on the team right now? Because I'm sure you guys are frustrated with how that game went, but are you? I mean, how confident should fans be that you guys will be able to kind of shake off the 0-2 start and run it back?
I mean, obviously, every NA fan is out in full force. I'm assuming, saying that NA is doomed, etc. And I mean, if I was a fan, I would say the same, I guess. But I think that we aren't that doomed. We used to have a really good first couple minutes of the game planned out. We used to have always a plan for jungler to get ahead of the game, get a crab, maybe two crabs, and it felt like we just forgot how to play, and we forgot how our lanes go against actual real players. And sometimes we say, oh yeah, I can push my lane against this guy, but if I was playing as a good player, I wouldn't be able to, right? So it's more about to really talk about how lanes go against real players that are not NA players, and just make a solid plan for early game. I don't think the issues we had in today's game are that hard to fix, and our game against that one was fine. So I think we can fix our issues and come back. It's not impossible. So I have confidence in this still.
Stepping away from this specific game, how has the team been adapting to the jungle changes and just like the new patch? Because I know that there was some concern about us being behind on a patch when we went to MSI.
Well, it's obviously harder for NA than for other people because we're playing a patch behind, but champs like Morgana and Rumble weren't played in LC patch or whatever either, so we don't have much of an excuse, although it's a small one, I suppose, so we can use that, I guess. But I really think we're just not the jungle meta that's a problem for us right now. It's just that red side has been Rumble, in my opinion. Obviously, most of the games, and Morgana is also a solid champion for blue side, so we can't play those champions on red side, which we were forced to play first 2 games, which is also a small side note, I guess. I think Bladder can play all the junglers that are in the meta, so I don't have any, problems with that at all. I think we're solid in terms of meta. I think we know what's good and what's not. So I think we make some small adjustments after this week's games, and then we'll be totally fine.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say to any of the North American fans out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what kind of promise I can make. Doesn't sound empty, but I think our issues are not that hard to fix. I think these games look bad, but they aren't actually that bad. They need a very small change to be a very good game. So I have full confidence in myself and the boys, and yeah, I don't think that there's reason to worry for sure. We're sure too, but I think we can come back for sure. So
Yeah, very good.
hopefully
Well,
people don't lose faith in us.
Thank you so much, Zven, for the interview. I'm sorry about the loss today. I do appreciate you taking the time to do the interview regardless. I know it's never fun.
Yeah,
to
I was forced to, don't worry.
Yeah. Thanks again. Hope things are okay in Iceland. I hear it's really cold. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things MSI right here on my YouTube channel. Let me give you the 411 on 511, aka May 11th. Okay, so for people that live outside the U.S., 411 used to be a number that you could dial to get like information, and so then it became like a phrase that people use, like giving you the 411. I'm just trying to keep this channel globally compatible, because maybe you're watching this after some interview with like an LPL player, an LCK player, or somebody from outside the U.S. And anyway, May 11th is the day that Alienware is announcing something really cool. I can't tell you what, because then that would be me announcing it not on May 11th. I'd be announcing it myself, and then they'd get upset, because the whole point is that this is an announcement on May 11th. So anyway, stay tuned to their social channels, and thank you to them so much for sponsoring the channel.